Hello everyone, welcome to We Love Soaps TV. I'm Roger Newcomb and I'm here with Indie Soap Award nominee for lead actor Nick Mathews. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Roger?
So we're going to talk about your nomination and your new show, In Between Men, the web series. But I want to talk a little bit about your career leading up to that. How did you get into acting?
I kind of feel like I've been acting ever since I was 5, you know. Used to love Halloween, dressing up and like pretending I was somebody else. But legitimately speaking, I started training when I went to Rutgers, and then I continued that when I went to the William Esper School of Acting shortly after. Right.
So you grew up in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah. I'm born and raised.
Right. So tell me some of the jobs that you've had acting up until now.
Well, I was on Guiding Light, As the World Turns. I did an independent film out in LA. Done a lot of different theater shows in New York. And, you know, most recently, In Between Men.
Right. So you've worked with a lot of famous people in some of these shows. Can you kind of tell us some of the people you've worked with?
Yeah. My first show ever, so I just graduated from the Esper Studio and moved to New York. And my first show was working with Frances McDormand, and the director was Stephen Daldry. Wow. So that was a pretty amazing experience.
You also worked with an actress from Dark Shadows, I believe the original series.
Yes, the famous Marie Wallace. We did a show called The Chislers, and it was being produced by Emerging Artists Theater Company, and I had the opportunity to work with Marie, and it was such an interesting experience because you don't realize, you know, the show is from the 70s, like you said, that she still has a loyal fan base. So, you know, every night we're doing the show, and at the end of the show, we would go and talk to not our fans, but her fans that would come and, you know, that flew all over the country to come and see her do this show. And she was just a very lovely, special person.
Wow. Yeah, and that show even predates me, so it's really old. And they still have Dark Shadows conventions every year.
Which she actually attends and, you know, does her autograph signing and does panels and speaks about, you know, vampires and all that kind of thing.
You work with Fred Savage also, right?
Well, I met Fred Savage because I was working at the George Street Playhouse, but not acting. And that experience, working there taught me that he has a huge following, even though he's not doing a whole hell of a lot, because he is Fred Savage, and The Wonder Years is an amazing show. It was a great show, but has been off the air for, I don't know, 10 years or so, 12, 15.
I don't know, a long time. I was in college when it was on, so yeah, you probably weren't born.
So it's been off the air for a while, and he still has a huge fan base and can work in theater and do whatever he wants because of his name, you know. So it kind of started to give me a direction of where I wanted to focus my energies. If I wanted to try to do like film, TV, or just kind of stay in theater and work your way up, so to speak.
Right. So you did an indie film in LA. You've done a lot of New York theater. Now you're on this web series, In Between Men. Is this the first web series you've done?
Yes, it is.
All right. So for people who don't know, tell us a little bit about the show. Quincy Morris is the creator.
Quincy Morris is the creator, executive producer. Jennifer Gelfer is our director. And the show's theme, I guess, is a group of 4 best friends, bisexual gay friends, who kind of don't feel like they completely fit in like the typical standard New York gay culture, but at the same time don't fit into their male heterosexual counterparts either, and still feel like a discrimination or not inclusiveness on that side. So they kind of are isolated in their own little bubble, so hence In Between. But it also represents a lot of things as you watch the show. You see that, you know, they're in between relationships, different growing pains, you know, going from one event to the other event, dealing with breakups, and that sort of thing.
Wow. So I think our readers have compared it to Queer as Folk, Sex and the City.
A lot of people are giving me feedback that they feel like it's a Sex and the City meets Queer as Folk, if you were gonna pitch this to somebody.
Right. And which character might you be from any of those shows?
I am the Carrie Bradshaw character.
I would agree with that.
I'm narrating the show. So.
Right. So you played Dalton Fuller.
Yes.
What I like about this character is he has a vulnerability, especially with Massimiliano, the man he meets at the club on the first episode. Tell us about your character.
So Dalton Fuller is a small business owner of an events planning company, and he wants it to be the premier event planning company in New York City. So he has a lot of work to do.
We could have hired him to plan the Indie Soap Awards.
I would have loved for him to come in and plan the awards. It would have been an awesome party. And some of the differences, like in my work, Nick versus Dalton. Dalton is very conservative, very ambitious. Not saying that I'm not, but he's almost like Nick magnified, and very focused on getting his goals. And if you start watching the show, he really is the point person in the group. So when someone is maybe going down the wrong path, Dalton's the one to say, I told you so, and that kind of thing, where I feel like me as a person am much more open-minded and kind of forgiving. And
you're happy to let your friends go down the wrong path.
I'm probably going down the wrong path with them, so I can't really judge them.
So there are 3 episodes that have aired. How many? Do you know how many episodes are going to be
Yes.
first season?
Yeah. So the 3rd episode actually has a feature guest spot from Michelle Clooney.
Right.
So that was really amazing to just be in her presence. She's such a talented actress. But
we interviewed her and she said the same thing about you, actually.
Oh, she did?
No, not me.
Well, I'm gonna get her to come and do an interview now. So there's 6 episodes in the first season,
right.
And I think from the rumor mill, there will be more episodes, but longer episodes in the future.
Okay. What kind of feedback have you gotten from fans or anyone?
It's interesting because a lot of people, I feel like some people, it's like they love it or hate it. I get a lot of emails from people saying, this is exactly how I feel, or I feel like I don't find representation of myself in media. And then I feel other people feel like it's being judgy or saying, ostracizing a certain demographic within the gay community. So, but mostly feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. I mean, we've been viewed now in 127 different countries. There's some people that have written us telling us that, it's illegal to be gay in certain, places, and that this is one of their outlets, going online to watch our show. And it's not cool that they're in this circumstance, but it's kind of cool that our show is giving them kind of like an escapism,
right.
And we've had at this point now, we've had over 500,000 hits, so we're doing pretty well.
Right. So you were nominated, or we nominated you from We Love Soaps for an Indie Soap Award, lead actor. We really loved your performance. What was your reaction when you found out about that?
Oh my God. So this is interesting. I got an email from somebody in LA months ago telling me that, congrats on your nomination. And I was like, nomination for what? And I wrote them back, and then they never responded, and so I let it go. I said, I don't know what you're talking about, and you're probably just crazy. And then I get a call from Quincy, who's like, dude, oh my God, you got nominated. I'm like, what are you talking about? What? I was like, really, me? And so I'm Googling it and everything, and I'm like, oh my God, this is real. And I just got super excited, and then I get a call from Jennifer Gelfer, and she's just like, so how do you feel? And I'm like, I feel like I don't even know what to say, because I've never got nominated for anything before. So
I was going to ask you about that.
This is awesome. I'm very proud, and excited about Monday night.
Good. So, so are we. And you're going to present an award that night. It's going to be fun. So tell us, what do you want to do with your career? You've done a lot of different things. Do you want to? Are you going in a certain direction, or?
You know, if you would have asked me a couple years ago what I would wanted to do, I would have just kept it real simple and said, I just want to act because acting makes me happy. And even a couple years ago, I knew that going in the direction of like film, television would get you more exposure, so that it allows you to do stage. Because the current situation, it's like to be Broadway or off Broadway, if you're not a heavyweight, you're not going to be an elite role. So I knew that much a couple years ago, but I had no direction in terms of what I wanted to do, what kind of work I wanted to do. And through taking classes now, I was studying at the Beverly Hills Playhouse East, and there's a part in the class where you have to come up with a career concept. And my concept is that I want to be the king of independent film. And what I want to do, I want to model my career after someone like Gael Garcia Bernal, who to me takes really like big risks, really stretches himself, really is not afraid to push the envelope. And if I could find someone like my own Pedro Almodovar to really work with, that's what I want. I want a relationship with someone that we can explore the topics is like sexuality, violence, people who are in good people in the wrong situation, or maybe the twisted bad guy with the heart. I'm really drawn to that kind of work.
Right. So do you do anything behind the scenes? Do you have any interest in writing or directing, or are you strictly an actor?
Right now, I am only pursuing acting. However, I've produced things before, and I love it because I am a control freak. But I think right now I need to have a focus on what I'm doing. I think you can do it all, but not everybody is a Woody Allen, and not every it doesn't work for everybody. And I think right now I need to invest all my energy in just being the best actor I can be. I would get into producing and acting. I think it's very difficult to direct yourself in something, but I can see directing something if it was subject matter that I was, extremely passionate about. Because it's different when you're acting in something. It's like you're in love with the part, but if you're directing something, you have to really, not just being in love with the part, but having more of a vision for the entire piece and loving everybody. So it's much more detailed, and it's a different hat. So it's a skill that I would want to develop over time.
Right. You have time. So I've known you for many years because you were on a radio soap that I did called Scripts and Scruples, and you played the best friend of Darrell Witt, who's also going to be at the Indie Soap Awards Monday. So I'm excited for you guys to meet each other.
For the first time.
Everybody kind of recorded separately, so nobody actually met each other. So this will be cool. And you've come a long way. It really impresses me, and I'm excited because you're such a first-class person, and I've been rooting for you and supporting you. And so just finally, outside of acting, what do you do for fun? What does Nick Mathews like to do for fun?
What do I do for fun?
If you have any.
There's no time for fun. Time's a ticket.
Well, I know for In Between Men, you're going to lots of events and parties and red carpets.
For fun, yeah. I love going out in the city. I love drinking with my friends. That's definitely fun. But aside from that fun, I really like... I do now enjoy going to the gym. I like going to yoga. And that's also kind of work, though. So, but I love the beach. I love the ocean. I love the sand. I love the sun. So when I want to get away, it's nice to take a little weekend trip in the summer and go someplace. So that's fun.
Jersey Shore.
Me and Snooki.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you Monday night.
No problem.
Good luck.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right. See you next time.